Philosophy's Guide to Happiness.
It's an incredibly important thing to get right. So Aristotle in his Nicomachean Ethics argued that everything we do in life is for some purpose. So I go to school to get an education, I get an education to get a job, and I get a job so that I get money to buy nice things, and so on and so on and so on. But the question Aristotle asks is, what is the end point of all this? What lies at the top of the ladder? And for Aristotle, that is happiness. The point of all human life is to reach happiness. And in the centuries or so after Aristotle, these different schools emerged, which were each trying to sell their version of happiness. You have Epicureanism, you have skepticism, you have cynicism, and you have Stoicism, all of which are trying to sell happiness and their way as the true route to happiness. And that interesting, because if you step outside, you see a very similar thing emerging, not just it's in China and it's in the Middle East and European.
Philosophy's Guide to Happiness. Really like religious terms as much these days, but I think that expression smiling soul is probably the closest we can come to understanding what happiness really is. And in fact, Aristotle, when he uses the word eudaimonia, that translates literally as good spirits. So I think the idea of a laughing or a smiling soul is really important to happiness. But why do we find it confusing? Why is it hard to understand? I think Taoism offers a really good analogy here. So Taoism is about the Tao, which is the way, which is this kind of mystical, kind of fundamental force which underpins everything. And an analogy that some Taoists use is that imagine life as like a dense, thorny forest. Philosophy's Guide to Happiness. Philosophy's Guide to Happiness. Philosophy's Guide to Happiness. Philosophy's Guide to Happiness.
And I think we don't really like religious terms as much these days, but I think that expression smiling soul is probably the closest we can come to understanding what happiness really is. And in fact, Aristotle, when he uses the word eudaimonia, that translates literally as good spirits. So I think the idea of a laughing or a smiling soul is really important to happiness. But why do we find it confusing? Why is it hard to understand? I think Taoism offers a really good analogy. So Taoism is about the Tao, which is the way, which is this kind of mystical, kind of fundamental force which underpins everything. And an analogy that some Taoists use is that imagine life as like a dense, thorny forest.
Philosophy's Guide to Happiness. Philosophy's Guide to Happiness.